I'm Kevin Duggan, and I'm a certified professional dog trainer. I help build positive relationships between humans and their canine companions. I do this by focusing on communication and rewarding the behaviors that we want our dogs to do. I do this because I love working with dogs and helping them fit happily into their homes. So I've been challenged to the World Dog Trainers Transparency Challenge by my friend Michael Baugh out in Houston, Texas from Michael's Dogs. Basically this challenge is to kind of transparency, meaning so people can see exactly what you're doing, you're not hiding anything. There's 3 questions involved. I don't have them written down, so hopefully I remember them all. But the first question is, what do you do when, like, basically if someone was to call me and ask me, you know, I'm interested in having you train my dog, what happens when my dog gets it right? So my dog's doing the right thing, what do you do in that situation? Well, if you asked me like 4 years ago, my answer would have been nothing. I would say nothing to the dog. The dog would basically understand that when nothing's happening, that's good. And then I used to, when the dog was doing something wrong, I would physically punish it. So the it was kind of counterbalanced by dogs doing the right thing, nothing happens, dogs doing the wrong thing, the dog feels something aversive. So if you would have asked me that like 4 or 5 years ago, that's what my answer would have been. Now what my answer is I use what's referred to as positive reinforcement. Basically when the dog does the right thing, I give the dog something good directly after that behavior happens. So usually it's food. So basically we're walking down the street, my dog looks at another dog, I say good boy, and I reward him for not barking or something along those lines. So the answer is when your dog does something right, something good happens, and the buzzword or the technical term is positive reinforcement. So that's what I use in regards to that. It's the best known way currently to build behaviors. When you use positive reinforcement, it makes the behavior likely to happen again in the future, and it also makes the behavior likely to happen with even more strength in the future. So that's my answer in regards to what happens if your dog does something right. If your dog does something wrong, what I do is I might take something away from the dog. So for instance, if a guest comes in and my dog jumps on the person, I might remove the guest from the person, or in this case remove the dog from the person. But basically the removal of something the dog likes, which was referred to as negative punishment, I might not do anything depending on the situation. We might just take a breath and try it again. But the focus with my training is, you know, teaching what's right and rewarding those behaviors. But yeah, so if the dog does something wrong, I either take something away or I don't do anything. Once again, my goal isn't to set him up for failure. And there are trainers out there, and that's why this is a good challenge, because there are trainers out there that their whole goal is to put the dog in a position to do the wrong thing and then physically correct the dog to get it to stop doing that thing. We just went for a walk, so he's still panting from that. But so yeah, I take things away from the dog if need be, but ultimately the goal is to focus on teaching him what I want him to do so I can reward him. And the third question is there less intrusive ways or less invasive ways to do what I do? Michael said it good in his video when he challenged me that, you know, if we're doing our jobs correctly, we're not putting him in the position to have to punish him and stuff like that. So I want to say no. You know, I try to do things the best way known at the moment in regards to building the behaviors that we're looking for and everything. The cool thing about myself and a lot of the other reward-based trainers out there is that we're always willing to learn the best way and to do what works best, what works quickest, but we do it in a way that's humane and that's fun, so it doesn't hurt the dog, doesn't scare the dog, and all that stuff. But yeah, so ultimately though, I don't use any fear or any pain with my training. That's not the goal. But that's kind of in a nutshell. So with this challenge, I get to nominate 3 people. I'm going to nominate Risa Van Fleet. I'm going to nominate Nicole Wild, and I'm going to nominate Carol Peters out in not far from me in Chardon, Ohio. So basically, you have the same 3 questions that you are supposed to answer, and kind of go from there. All right, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.